Hey y'all, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. Today I'm here with Technique Junkies and the red rubber stamp poppy arrangement. Now this might look familiar. I used this in my last Technique Junkie videos, but it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And if you guys know me at all, I have to craft wherever my heart leads me, and my heart led me back to this stamp again. So from the whole release, I think this might be my favorite, and there are a lot that are like at the top, so that says a lot for this one. I think it's very pretty. Poppies just kind of have my heart right now. I'm not sure what that's about, but they just do. And of course, anything in the daisy, chrysanthemum, sunflower family, yeah. I'm not a big flower girl, but if they're in those families, you got me. You just got me. So I have stamped this out using sticky glue. I don't know if it was Versamark or if it was the Brutus Monroe embossing ink, but I stamped it out. You can see there's a little bit of a stain there, but it's fine once I get it all heat embossed. And I used my vintage, let me see what it's called, Vintage Sparkle, I believe. Yep, from Brutus Monroe. And I just wanted the tone on tone because I'm going to do some emboss resist. So I was going through my ACLD masks. These are masks, it's mask and stencils together. So I chose the second to the largest mat. No, this is the stencil because we're going in. So this is the stencil. And I wanted to do like a little spotlight ink blending. I should have gone, in retrospect, maybe one size smaller. But anyway, it is what it is. There's no right or wrong. There's no judgment, right? I have to remind myself many times on this card that there's no judgment. There's no right or wrong in card making. Because you guys know me. I don't usually have a plan. This time I had a plan and it did not come to fruition. So I do like this spotlight ink blending, and you can see that I use my oxides. I have spiced marmalade, rusty hinge, and fired brick. And you guys know I'm a fall girl. So I didn't go fall on purpose, but this definitely has an overall fall vibe, and it's very grungy in the end, as you saw from the picture that I showed in the beginning. So now I'm laying down the mask over my ink blending, and I'm going to come in with the Diamond Grace stencil, another one from A Colorful Life Designs that's available at Technique Junkies, and you know I'll have everything listed and linked below. So my idea was to have that spotlight in the middle, just a little bit of texture on the outside with my stencil, and it's not the first time I've done similar techniques. I like that technique. So here I'm laying down my stencil. I have some pixie spray on the back of both of them, and you can see I'm kind of burnishing it around the edges of the mask because I don't want any of that ink to seep under there. But it's not sticking very well. So I'm very focused on holding the stencil in place so I don't get that ghost stenciling, you know, because if it shifts, it kind of messes up. It can give you some serendipitous effects, but I wasn't going for serendipity. Anyway, I'm too heavy-handed, I guess is what I'm getting at. I'm too heavy-handed for what I had in mind. Again, no right or wrong, no judgment, showing myself grace, you know, all those things I always say. And then I lift it up and it's like, there's not enough separation between the stencil and the spotlight blending. Okay, it is what it is, but it's always so satisfying to wipe off that ink from the embossing. Oh my gosh, that's like the most satisfying. So I thought, okay, easy fix. I'll lay my stencil back down. I'll go back over the spotlight, right? Just darken that up a little bit. Okay, that's not bad. But you know what, looking at it now, I feel like if I had used a stencil with maybe a smaller pattern so that the scale were a little bit more different, because the scale of the stencil pattern compared to the scale of the stamp are really similar. I feel like there needed to be greater contrast looking at it now. So anyway, I thought that in terms of the depth of the color, there was enough contrast there. So I'm going to just try to go in and add some splatters. You heard the word try, right? Yeah, I like to do some foreshadowing. So I'm using some of the Shimmering Bliss. I believe this is the iridescent. It's either iridescent or dazzle. I can never remember which one because they're very similar. They're different, but they're similar. and it didn't do a whole lot. It didn't do a whole lot of oxidizing to the overall card panel. So I'm adding just some water to my ink blotches, thinking, okay, I'll just I'll just lay down some spatter. Even the black isn't spattering properly. I don't know if you're watching the desk around the work surface around the card. It's getting plenty of splatters. Plenty. And it just keeps growing. But they're not hardly at all landing on my card panel. No matter the size brush I use, the type of brush I use, the medium, because there I'm using gouache and I'm using a different type of ink and I'm using different brushes and I'm using different techniques. Look at my desk. You see the splatters landing all over the desk. I don't know. It's not that there's no splatters on the card panel. There are. But anyway, okay, I digress. So you know I'm impatient, so I have to hit it with my heat tool so that I can move on. And then again, I'm wiping off the ink from the panel, you know, doing, or not the panel, the heat embossing. And that's always so satisfying, but that took away so many of my splatters. And then I die cut it with the Stitch Rectangle die from my stash. And had I left it there, I think I probably would have been okay. But because I'm extra, I had to come in with not just one, not even two, but 3 colors of ink blending around the edges. I wanted it a little more grungy. In that moment, I knew I wanted more grunge. I go, way too much grunge. Okay, no judgment. Stop that. Because I don't want y'all judging yourselves and saying this is right, this is wrong. There is no right or wrong in art. There just isn't. So I need to take my own advice. All right, social worker, come on. So anyway, here I am. I'm adding that 3rd layer of the darker ink. Now I could have taken my panel directly to my ink pad like we did in the old days, and that probably would have given me the effect I was looking for, but I didn't. And then there I thought, oh, that's too much ink to waste. Let me do some ink smooshing. What else can I do on this card? Holy cow. All right, let's use some water to create some oxidization. I can't say it. Oxidized splotches. Let me just spray some spray. Let me, y'all, remember my good card when a good card goes bad video? I feel like this may be a runner-up to that. I'll try to link that video up in the corner. Oh my goodness. But again, in the end, I'm not dissatisfied with the overall product. It's just watching the video and going through the process. Not so easy. It's kind of like therapy because the only way around it is through it. And so I'm going through. Y'all are witnessing some mental health therapy going on right on the screen. And that's okay because the process is what it is. So here I'm coming in again with the spiced marmalade, and then I'm going to move on to the rusty hinge right across the middle there, and then I'll bring in the fired brick one more time. And again, I'm just trying to get some of that detail back in that I just kind of ink blended and smushed and sprayed out. So there's a little bit, and then of course I have to come back in with the center stencil. Same colors going down. Trying to be a little more heavy-handed here in the middle, which was my initial plan, right? I wanted the center to be darker than the stenciled area, but it's just kind of, it is what it is. It's all about texture at this point, that visual texture, and then this, the satisfying. Oh, isn't that great? Just be quiet and watch that process. And sadly, I decide I want to try some splatter again. Y'all, I apologize. Okay. All right, so using the gouache and a round brush, and I've got you zoomed in so you can kind of see the process a little bit better. I wonder if I had used my box, my splatter box, excuse me, if that would have made a difference. I don't know why it would, but anyway, got a big blotch right there. I'll wipe that right up because this is gouache, so it wipes right up. So I think, okay, in terms of the splatters, I wanted the contrast. That's what I was missing. So I went lighter with the white and I'm coming in with a little bit darker with the brown. And I'm using again a different brush, thinking it's going to give me different size splatters and they'll go in different directions, and in the end it is what it is, right? So I come in with my distress sprays thinking, okay, I've got the fired brick and what the brown, I don't remember which brown it is. Vintage Photo? I think it's Vintage Photo. Anyway, I'll try to list it down below. And that gives me the splatters and some of the contrast that I was looking for. I don't know why I didn't think to go with them in the first place. Again, it is what it is. Grace, Lady Grace. All right, and here I have some neutral metallic paper from Park Lane. It's a 12 by 12 pack. It's really pretty. It's a nice satiny metallic shimmer. It's very pretty. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to go with this kind of chocolatey brown to kind of pull out some of that espresso ink that I used from Pink Fresh Studio, or if I wanted to go with that kind of mustardy yellow. And in the end I felt like the mustardy yellow orange was just too similar. Again, I was looking for contrast and I wasn't getting it with the mustard yellow, so the brown gave me a little bit. So I mounted it up on that. I'm mounting it there up on my card base, and here I'm putting my panel down on top of the layering layer. Words are hard this morning, y'all. I'm sorry. Trying to get it all centered. This is why I use the liquid glue, so I've got that wiggle room so I can shimmy it, because I don't have a straight eye. I do not have a straight eye. And there I'm laying some heavy objects on it to hold it down so it doesn't buckle. And here's my sentiment. Of course it says, hey y'all. Hey y'all. So you see I added a little bit of frame onto my overall design, because that's kind of what I was going for, was that visual separation when I started out with the spotlight ink blending, but I didn't get that, right? Because I just ended up with some texture and not so much the separation. So I put that frame on there to kind of mimic what I was going for. It's different color, it's a different way, it's a different size, all of that. But I like that it's textural, physical textural versus the visual textural. So yeah, I'm okay with it. Again, I'm not dissatisfied with the overall card. It just took on a life of its own when I made that wrong turn in the beginning. And so here I've again used a little bit of my liquid glue in various spots across the card, and I'm adding some of my embellishment dots. Most of these are from Gina Marie Designs. Some of them are from kits that I've gotten along the way. I think from Scrapping for Less, maybe Create and Inspire. I'm not sure at this point, but most of them are from Gina Marie Designs. So there it is, guys. My kind of comedy of errors, going back and forth between judging myself and showing myself grace. Oh man. Let me know, guys, how you rebound. How do you recover when you make a wrong decision and you try to get it back on track? Do you just go with it? Do you have techniques to rebound with, to recover with? I don't know. Let me know what you think. And you know, I just want to thank you for spending some time with me today. I know there are a million other things you could be doing, but you spent some time with me, so I appreciate that. I am honored. I ask if you like this video, you give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing and being part of my little crafty tribe, and drop me a comment downstairs and I'll meet you down there. Thanks guys, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.